Hey, welcome to today's video. We're tackling a tough but crucial topic: toxic cultures in churches, and is an inspiration from Scott McKnight. We will explore how to recognize the signs of toxic environment and how similar patterns might show up in our daily lives, like in our friendship, in our workplaces, and our families. Let's dive into it. So, churches are meant to be safe haven, yet some can become places where unhealthy power dynamics and even manipulations take root. The toxic church culture focuses on protecting the institution over the people. Leaders often use control tactics that makes it hard to question authority or discuss uncomfortable truths. So imagine a church member shares a concern about how finances are handled. Instead of addressing it, leadership accuses them of spreading discord or threatening the unity of the church. This not only shuts down the conversation, but it makes other people fear similar treatment if they raise issues. So one may ask, how do we recognize signs of toxicity? One of the key things and the patterns that we see is they often discredit critics. In a toxic environment, raising concern is often seen as betrayal or disloyal. Leaders might start by questioning the credibility of those who speak up, and they call them, "You're misguided," or "You're being too negative," or even "You are spiritually weak." So, for example, a woman in a church brings up potential misconduct by a leader who is very prominent. Soon, church rumors start circulating that she has troubles of the past, or she has always been like this, or she has always had issues with authority. So instead of her concerns being addressed, her character is dismantled to silence her voice. This happens outside of churches too. Like in workplaces, a new employee suggests an improvement to a system, and the management responds by questioning their experience or loyalty. And the underlying message often is, "Hey, stay in line or your reputation might take a hit." In Christian calisthenics, just follow or be a hard follower. The second thing is they often demonize critics. So some leaders may take it further, suggesting that anyone questioning them is an enemy, not just of the church, but of God. And this tactics isolate critics by framing them as a threat to the church's spiritual well-being. So, for example, an elder raises concern about a pastor's decision, only to hear in the next sermon that, "Oh, the devil is at work among us," trying to undermine God's mission. This subtext targets the elder without naming them, leaving them and others in the congregation very fearful of voicing their doubt. In personal relationships, this can look like a partner who tells you anyone questioning your behavior or their behavior just doesn't want to see you happy. This isolates you from support and silencing your concerns. The third thing is usually they spin the narratives. So toxic churches often control information to maintain a positive image. So rather than openly addressing the issues, the leaders might twist the story to maintain their reputation. So for example, if a youth pastor leaves the church will say, "I think he's bitter, he has issues," or "He decided to pursue a new calling, which we believe is a sway away from God's will." Meanwhile, congregation members who question it are told, "It is not your business." So this lack of transparency builds a culture where secrecy trumps accountability. In real life, in companies, you might hear something similar. If an employee leaves due to toxic management, HR might tell the team, "Oh, they just wanted opportunities elsewhere to protect the company's reputation." They say that. It leaves those behind with a fractured truth, creating mistrust. The other sign that we see is gaslighting. In toxic church cultures, questioning the leadership's action can be met with gaslighting, where people are led to doubt their own perception as though you are hallucinating. So imagine you bring up to a church leader that they treated a member unfairly and they should reconsider it. They respond with, "Are you sure you're not just misinterpreting things?" Or, maybe you're being too sensitive. So over time, this can make you question your own judgment. And this type of manipulation can also appear in friendships. A friend dismisses your concern by saying, I think you're overreacting, until you start doubting your own feeling. Gaslighting, I believe, is a powerful tool to control people and maintain an imbalanced relationship. These behaviors often stem from leaders who put the institution's image above people's well-being. Protecting their reputation and maintaining control and limiting dissent become primarily the goal. So when individuals in power fear loss of control, they may act in manipulative ways to sustain the authority, whether consciously or unconsciously. So for example, in some cases, leaders might genuinely believe they are protecting the flock. However, by shutting down conversations and silencing people, they create a climate of fear and not faith. And this mindset can manifest in any group where leaders or members prioritize how we are seen over who we are together. Whether it's a friend group or family, the result is the same: a culture where authenticity is sacrificed for image. If you find yourself in these situations, it is possible to heal and move forward. The first thing that I would say is build a gracious and healthy culture. A healthy church culture focuses on compassion, transparency, and justice, fostering an environment where people are encouraged to speak openly. So for example, imagine a church that instead of avoiding tough topics, hosts regular forums where members can discuss concerns openly. Leaders actively listen, acknowledge mistakes, and take steps towards accountability. This creates a space where people feel safe and valued. Practical steps can be taken for leaving or changing a toxic environment. If you find yourself in a toxic church or in a toxic environment, you can start with small but powerful steps. Set boundaries with those who try to control or manipulate you. Seek out safe people to talk to. And if necessary, find a healthier community. Now you're going to be tagged for this. But for example, a church member who felt gaslighted started a support group for others who experienced similar situations. Together, they helped each other recognize that the experiences were valid and found new places to worship that prioritize their well-being. In real life, in personal relationships, this could look like building a circle of supportive friends who affirm your experiences and encourages growth. You're going to be told that you are swearing away from the flock. The journey might not be easy, but finding a healthy environment is worth it. Toxicity in any community damages trust and well-being. But by learning to recognize the signs, I think we can foster environments that honor truth, that honors kindness and genuine connections. Stay positive. If this video resonates with you, spread awareness together and let's create a community that nurtures rather than harming people. Bless.